Greetings and welcome back to SwitchedtoLinux. Well, I want to do a final review of Manjaro Deepin today. I have been running this actually longer than I thought I would run it. It was a matter of ran out of time every single week consistently to put something else up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that at the first opportunity, but I wanted to go ahead and take the time today to do more of a review. Of course, some of this is just essentially Deepin. How's Deepin? And ultimately, I like Deepin. I want to get it off the desktop. It's not fun after a longer period of time for me, the way that I work. And I want to take some time just talking about my experiences on Manjaro Deepin and do a final thought. Would I recommend this or not? So let's go ahead and first start with the updates. Of course, you come up here and in Manjaro, we have the package manager here. And this will look for any updates that you have as well. You can see the system is up to date. You can do any searches, or you can also, if you're doing any given search, then maybe if we do like a search for Skype or something, if I can type Skype right, we might see that there's the regular repository, and I have the Arch user repository enabled as well. So between the software and the Arch user repository, it has literally everything that you need. I have installed two items out of that. That is Skype, because I do use it for business. And I actually did Spotify, which I did that simply to be annoyed by stupid advertisements for alcoholic beverages. I was putting my my podcasts are now on Spotify, so I wanted to see how they looked. So that's literally the only reason why I did Spotify. So I wanted to go ahead and see how that would work. And so those are the two applications I have through the Arch user repository. I didn't have any issues on updates or anything else like that. Every now and again, an update would fail to run. It would do something kind of goofy, and then reboot the system, no problems at all. So while some things did give me some form of error on the screen, nothing was ever fatal. Nothing caused the system to go into instability. Really, the only major problem with running updates is that every single time you updated a software package, it would remove the item from your dock, which was highly annoying, easy to fix. You know, you just come up, right-click something, send to dock, no big deal. But it is a little annoying. You'd think that the system could come up with a way to not remove itself from the dock. And that's something to do with Deepin, not Manjaro. And so that covers the updates and the software. As far as what I did, there's a number of things that I generally do on this particular computer. This is my media computer, so I pretty much use this to play videos or play music throughout the day while I'm working. I have a computer on either end of me as well. And so this is the central computer, which has the bigger monitor, which is just used to play videos and media type things. I'll also do a little bit of light writing on here, not much at all. And I do some edits through GIMP. And I think I either did it here or I did it on Deepin OS, where I had to work with correcting an ebook formatting as well to get validation working right. And so those are the tasks that I believe I did over here. So the software that I installed, of course, Skype, VLC, Spotify, and I think I installed Chromium. I can't remember. I think Firefox comes by default on Manjaro. So I installed Chromium. I installed Evolution for email, which works great. I installed Kodi for interfacing with my NAS media resources. And so pretty much everything over there worked out well. This is the first distro that I've seen in a while that every once in a while playing media would kind of hiccup. Now that's something that I have observed with other Linux distros before. The first distro that did not actually do that was actually Elementary OS. And you had to be specifically using the browser that comes by default on that, and I forget what the browser name is. But actually, since the last several distros I've ran, Solace, Deepin OS, the last few distros that I've run over here, I have not had that problem. And so I've got used to having a smooth media experience, whereas versus every 5 minutes or so, you'd get something where the audio would hiccup and you'd get just a little inconsistency. Now, I identified that as a bug with the systems or the browsers you were using, because it would do that, for example, on Chromium, but it would not do it on Firefox. And I usually notice it the most because I use Chromium to do YouTube videos and I use Firefox for everything else. But on this Manjaro computer, I got that same hiccup on Firefox, on Chromium, and even on VLC, which was very unusual, and on Kodi, also very unusual. Which those were not issues that I had with Deepin OS. So that was an improvement Deepin OS happened to have over Manjaro. I just had that little bit of hiccuping. And I, of course, tested video files, streaming, and actual, DVDs. And so it was, I did get a chance to do a full spectrum. As far as how the system worked out, well, I had no major system crashes. It was very stable. Overall, I'm going to go ahead and recommend Manjaro Deepin. If you want to look at the Deepin desktop environment, of course, if you're not familiar with the Deepin desktop environment, this is what it looks like. Its power is that it can be set up kind of more like this, which is kind of like a Windows type mode. And you can actually come down, hit your fashion mode down here, and hopefully that didn't crash it. It looks like it might have. Yep, first time I had a crash. I tried to change the system from fashion mode into that. Oh, there it goes. It's back. So now we got that, and then if you pull up your menu and click on this guy here, of course I have this guy here set to always be on top. Let me take that down from always on top. So now you can see that you have more of a Mac type feel to it, which we can also sort by category as well. So it is a desktop that it is certainly a desktop that some people may be attracted to because of the flexibility of how you can set the desktop up, and it's very easy to go ahead and do that. It is slick. It is pretty nice. So overall, I like the Deepin desktop. This is, of course, your menu where all your settings are. This does get old after a while. So I like the fact that I really liked seeing this. Of course, the first few versions of Budgie also included the settings in the Raven menu. I fully now understand after using it why Solus took it out of the Raven menu. It is annoying being in the menu looking for the settings. But that's a Budgie item. That's not a Manjaro item. I found overall Manjaro to be good, to be stable. Very user-friendly. I didn't have any issues with this where I would have to go online or do something more advanced. So that is why I'm consistently putting Manjaro on the top Linux distros. If you're wanting to do something in the Arch type family, I would say Manjaro is your best bet if you're a beginner. I haven't had any issues with it. Some people say that there are. Some people have suggested the Manjaro community is actually not very friendly. And I've heard very good evidence from two very balanced people that have given me evidence of that. So that's a consideration. But as far as the operating system itself, I had no problems. I had no bugs. I had no major issues. There were a few times I would have to reboot some things, but such is life. So that's my overall thought. So which is the best implementation? Running Deepin OS or running Manjaro Deepin? I'm not going to tell you yet. I'm going to be working on a specific video detailing that. I will tell you that all of the problems that I had with Deepin OS, with the Deepin environment, are all consistent things here in Manjaro as well. So normalizing for the issues with the desktop environment, I'll tell you which one I think is the better implementation and why in an upcoming video. So thanks for coming along and hope that you enjoy switching to Linux. I hope you've enjoyed this video from Switched to Linux. If you'd like to help support the channel, check out the links at the top. There is another video over here. You can check out our Patreon page down here. And you can check out shop.switchedtolinux.com for information on a t-shirt like this or some other designs. Thanks for watching and hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.